Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north, and today we're going to talk about one of my favourite genera, favourite because it's easy for me anyway, this cyclamen. We're going to talk about all its requirements from temperature, humidity, fertilisation, light requirements, summer dormancy, all that good stuff. Let's get started. Okay, so we're back. Let's start with the two that I've got here in the greenhouse at the moment. Now this is on the cool side of the greenhouse. This is currently kept at roughly 8 to 10 degrees. I don't let it go much below 8 degrees. During the day the temperatures are going much higher, which I'll talk about that in a second. We'll start off just by looking at these two cyclamen. So I'll just swizzle you around here. I am obviously holding the camera in my hand, so apologies if it's a little bit shaky. I've chosen now to discuss these simply because we're at the time of year where something's going to happen. So we've got two cyclamen here. These are houseplant cyclamen. They won't live outside. They are absolutely stunning. They're not at their absolute best. Their absolute best was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but they are beginning to go over, and you can see how once these flowers are coming to an end, they start to lean over. Eventually they will drop right down, the flower will fall off, and the seed head will form at the end. And they do that because they want to get that seed right into the soil. So they spread it away from the mother plant and they drop it into the soil. This one in particular has had lots of nice comments on Instagram. Everybody seems to love this kind of magenta colour with the variegated leaves. This one is still a lovely plant, especially with the varying colours there. But there are all sorts of colours now that you can get in different sizes. So let's talk about cyclamen as a genus to start with. There are 23 species of cyclamen. They come from Mediterranean areas and European areas. I believe there is one species, rather oddly, in Somalia. The houseplant variety or the houseplant species of cyclamen is houseplant or cultivars of Cyclamen persicum. Now, Cyclamen persicum is not a frost-hardy cyclamen. There are some frost-hardy cyclamens, and the one that you tend to see in people's gardens are cultivars of Cyclamen coum and Cyclamen hederifolium. They are frost hardy. You can leave them out all winter in the ground and they will pop up again in either the spring or in late winter. These particular cultivars that I've got here, there's no names for them, unfortunately. They're just sold as cyclamen, so if you particularly like one of them or the other, then you've just got to have a hunt round. Now at this time of year, I'm filming this in the beginning of March. At this time of year, they're beginning to go out of the garden centres and nurseries now. They're not being sold. But I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video about this now, because people will be wondering what to do with them, because the cyclamen are beginning to get to the end of the flowering period. Because where I am in this greenhouse, and I'll show you around here. If you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button, ding the notification bell, and you won't miss any updates. You'll have to excuse, I've got the grow lights on at the moment, but the sun is out. So in this cool side, this roof here that I'm pointing at is perpendicular on to the sun, it's south facing, and when the sun does come round when we're lucky enough to get a sunny day, the temperature in this supposedly cool side of the greenhouse is going up to like 18, 19, 20 degrees Celsius, and that's with it still being below 5 degrees outside. So that shows the power of glass to kind of amplify the sun's heat there. So as far as the cyclamen are concerned, it's getting into summer, and because they're used to a Mediterranean climate, they need to be prepared for a long, dry, hot summer. So their natural state at this time of year, if they get in those, they get in the warmer temperatures and the longer days, their natural state is to go into dormancy. So cyclamen are tubers, they're not corms. You can probably see if I just move in here if you've not seen one before. So there it is. It's a tuber like a potato. Now I think people say calm because of cyclamen coum, because they're used to hearing people talk about the hardy cyclamen coum. That's COUM, which does sound a bit like calm. And I think people tend to think that they're the calms, cyclamen calms, but they're not, the tubers. So they have everything they need in that tuber. They're used to withstanding drought. So once they do eventually go into dormancy, what will happen is they will just sit there and do nothing all summer, and you don't need to water them. So what I will do with this, as it begins to drop these flowers and drop these, the stems begin to fall down, I will reduce watering, and I've got one prepared. Now this one down here, I had a little bit of trouble with it this winter. I think it had some kind of bug, and you see how dry that is. So what I decided to do was just to leave it and let it have a rest and stop watering it. So I actually put this into dormancy quite early. You can see one tiny little leaf is beginning to sprout there, and they do that even in dormancy. They do sprout the odd little leaf, but you need to hold off and don't water them. Those things on top there, they're just organic slug pellets, so just ignore those. So what I will do with that now, it probably needs a repot as well actually, because it's been in this pot a few years. I will just leave that now, and I'll only begin to water it in the autumn, and it will be absolutely fine. Nothing bad will happen to it. So as far as a care regime goes, so we wait until they begin to droop. When you can see the flowers are beginning to droop, and it's not a watering issue, then you know, and obviously you know that the days are getting longer and the temperatures are going up, and the thing to do is to reduce your watering to the point that you just stop watering them altogether. Don't give them anything, because they will think that it's time to come back into growth again. Even if you can see just down there new flowers coming, because we're not keeping them, we've not got them in the natural habitat. Even though these are cultivars, they still cling on to that Mediterranean style of weather patterns. That's a lovely colour, just looking out at that there. See how that's a slightly different colour. As they age, they tend to go a little bit more pinky, as the newer ones tend to be a little bit of a pale colour. Oh, the lovely thing, there's all sorts of different cultivars, so you can get colours in all sorts of different shades and varieties. One thing I would say is that as far as watering goes, they are top or bottom waters. You can water them at the top or the bottom, but it's very, very easy to overwater them. They do flop if they are underwatered, but they also flop if they are overwatered. Now I've got used to it. I know when they need watering and when they don't, but I would suggest not to do what I've done here and keep them in a tray, because then they will sit in water, and that's not what they like, and they will then of course flop, and you will think that they need watering, and it's the last thing they need. So I would do like I've done with that orchid there. I'll put them on some stones, or give them some drainage, or make sure you pour away the water. And they do flop quite easily when they're underwatered as well, but they sprout back very, very, they're very tough, they're very resilient, and they do sprout back and come back to life if you do the right thing with them. So temperatures, I've found, obviously the sold as houseplants, the cultivars, I've found that they prefer the cooler temperatures. They don't really like to be in, like most plants, certainly behind glass, they don't like to be in full sun. Like a room temperature, I would say, if it's comfortable for you, then it's probably a little bit too warm for a cyclamen. Try and find somewhere cool in the house. I found best results in my conservatory over summer. My conservatory is shaded, so obviously a conservatory can get very hot, so that wouldn't be a good idea. It would flop very, very quickly if the sun got on it. So wherever you've got in your house, we've got like a downstairs loo which is very shaded and quite cool. We've got a utility which is shaded and cool. Those are the kind of places that they do best in as bright a light as you can get them without being in direct sun. Fertilising, I'm not big on fertilising. I don't like spending lots of time mixing stuff. So what I do, I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see now because they'll have gone they'll have been used up. Oh, you can't quite see. I get the feeding sticks. Oh, just lost one there. Actually, that's a good way of showing you what happens, because you can see that now is beginning to form into a seed head, and that stem, that kind of flower stem, flower spike, will drop down. It will take itself lower down. So what you need to do is cut them as far back as you can towards the tuber, and that will ensure that they keep flowering, but obviously not at this time of year, because as I say, they're coming into dormancy. So what was we talking about? Fertilising. So I use the fertilising sticks. You can get them in all sorts of garden centres, nurseries, get them off Amazon. It's just like a little 5 centimetre stick that you just shove into the soil. I think it lasts about a month, and that gives it everything it needs. It's the easiest way to do it, and the plants still reward you, without having to measure anything out. So that's fertilising. We talked about watering. You can overwater them very, very easily. We discussed that. Light requirements we've also discussed. Is there anything else? Okay, so I think that just about covers it. So that's cyclamen. So I would definitely recommend going out and getting yourself some cyclamen if you've got these kind of conditions, and you can provide those kind of conditions for your house or for a warmer greenhouse. I would definitely like to get some more of these for myself, and I'm hoping that maybe when it comes around to autumn time and they get some more of the new cultivars, which by the way they are working at the moment on trying to bring the scent back into cyclamen, because the wild cyclamen persicum does actually have a really nice scent. I believe up in the hills and forests in Turkey and Crete, it's all you can smell, carpets and carpets of cyclamen, a lovely sweet smell, and they're trying to bring that back because they lost it in trying to get these various variegated leaves and various colours and shades into the blooms, and of course to make them bigger as well. They lost the scent, so they're trying to breed that back in, which is going to be a good thing. For me, scent in a flower is one of the major attractions of a bloom. Obviously it's got to look good, but I think a scent just really tops it off and makes it one of your favourites. These two that you're looking at unfortunately don't have much of a scent, but I'm hoping to get some over in the autumn. So that's it for today, cyclamen, and if you enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up, and if you've got any other queries or questions, put it in the comments, or even any experiences of growing cyclamen. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.